Just Super Mario Bros. What a great sensation of a game. Wait, what is that feeling? It's a weird sensation. Ah! Mario Bros. Super Mario Bros. It's a game that it was the first Mario Bros. Game ever invented. Technically, if we want to count Donkey Kong, it was the first one that introduced the character, but we're going to talk about the character alone. We're going to talk about the two games that really introduced number one and number two. Mario Lost Levels and Mario Bros. 2, or Super Mario Bros. 2. Now, technically, at the beginning of the Lost Levels, it says Super Mario Bros. 2, but also in Super Mario Bros. 2, the other one says Mario Bros. 2. So, how do we decide which is which? Now, technically, the Lost Levels came out in only Japan, but it was finally ported to America a little bit later. But does that mean that Mario Bros. 2 is actually the second game? Well, this is what we're going to be discussing in this video, so let's get started into that. So the first thing I'm going to start talking about is the Lost Levels. Lost Levels is one of the most difficult Mario games in Mario history because you have to just somehow beat this difficult game that they tried making like the hardest game in Mario history, but it's also like 10 times, like it's pretty much the same game. Mobility is the same, which the mobility in this game sucks. Like, it's one of the worst things in Mario. And, you also have to make sure not to die to the stupid, like, characters in this game. It's kind of dumb. But, also, they just try to make your life worse than it needs to be. But it did come a couple months before the other game came out. So does that mean this game's first? Well, we gotta go to the facts right now. So Lost Levels was supposed to be their first game before America said, yeah, no, we're not doing this. We're just actually gonna make a new game, so it's actually Mario Bros. 2. But we really didn't want the Lost Levels to actually be the second game because it's pretty much just a copy of the first game. So that's why we really wanted the other game to be the second one. They wanted a new genre, a new style of gameplay, and a new way to play this game. So that's why they made Mario Bros. 2. Now, the Lost Levels isn't a bad game, I'd say. It's a cool way to play the game, especially. It's a cool new factor in the game, but it's just not the way I wish they'd done it. They could have done it a little bit differently, but they chose to do a remake of the game, just added more harder levels and more difficult enemies, and it's really just the same thing, just more difficult. That's all they really did with this game. Now, in my mind, I would rather this be maybe like a mini game or something to the first game. That would have been a better source instead of calling it the second game. But I guess Nintendo developers made Nintendo developers in the 80s, so I don't know. I wasn't born then, so. But I definitely think the Lost Levels is a way. The reason why they call it the Lost Levels is because of the difficulty, and it's supposed to show a different way of the game. And some of the maps were actually supposed to be in the original game, which was one of the reasons why they called it the Lost Levels, because some of the maps were actually going to be in the game, but then chose to not be in it. So they didn't want to erase the files and just made an entirely new game, which is stupid of them. Okay, I think we're done with Lost Levels. Why don't we start talking about the next game? Okay, here we go. Super Mario Bros. 2. Now, I'm going to be a little bit biased on this one because I really don't like this game at all. And it's probably one of the worst games I've ever played, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are going to hate me for saying that. Everybody hates me whenever I start mentioning Super Mario Bros. 2 because I always hate on the game. But I do have my reasonings. It's definitely not, like, one of the best games because you can't even jump. You could jump on, like, Shy Guys or jump on, like, birds. You could jump on, like, all these creatures, but you can't, like, smush them. You can only, like, pick them up and throw them. Like, what the heck, dude? That's not, like, the part of Mario Bros. 2. But listen, it does definitely represent a like number 2 game. It shows more like impactment to the game, or shows more of a like new genre of the game, a different kind of way of playing the game than Super Mario Bros. 2. But Mario Bros. 2 is actually one of the best games, I think, when it comes to representing a second game. It shows a lot more bosses, new characters, and it was only added 2 years after the next game. But Super Mario Bros. 2 has a lot to show when it comes to the characters alone. You can play as Luigi, Toad, Princess Peach, and Mario, which is a cool way. This was like a new aspect to games, because this was one of the first games to show that there was a lot more characters to play as instead of Mario. Even though the Lost Levels could let you play as Luigi and Mario, but they were pretty much the same character, just different color and bases. And one could jump a little bit higher. That's really all that really changed in the game. But with this game, they showed a lot more impactment in which characters could actually improve the game. So it really did help out the game a lot. But is this really the second game, or is it not? Now the thing is about the Lost Levels is that the Lost Levels was really, like I said, made for a not even really a remake. It was more made for just showing off old maps that was made but never actually got played properly and never got into the game. So Mario Bros. 2, I think, definitely is the second game, not the Lost Levels. I think Lost Levels can be its own game, even though that's why they're not calling it Mario Bros. 2 anymore. They used to be calling it before they changed the name to Lost Levels, but I definitely think Mario Bros. 2 is definitely the second game, instead of it. Has a lot more of a game aspect, new bosses, Birdos in the game. You can fight her as a boss, which is one of the coolest things I've ever done. It's like such a cool thing. You could pick up the eggs. Now that's like maybe one thing I do like. You could like throw them and take them out, but like it's a new game aspect of the game. It's like a new way to take out a boss instead of just jumping on something and taking them out. Like that is a cool way to do it. I do like that aspect. But either way, I think Mario Bros. 2 is definitely the best suit for it being the second game, and the Lost Levels can be its own game, and I think that's how I'm gonna end it. But I do want your opinion on this. Do you think the Lost Levels should be its own game, or do you think it's this real second game because of how timelines work? Tell me guys in the comments below, and thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a short one, but I just wanted to post something because I don't get to do I don't do that as much anymore, and I know I've been slacking a little bit. But thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button. It helps out the channel, and it makes me make more of these cool videos for you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.